This is the Long War. I'm Rob Baer, and joining me once again are my partners in crime, Kenny Boucher and Wyatt Turk. What's up, guys?
Yo, dog, great to be here.
Yeah, what's up?
It is. Oh, I didn't tell you the big news. Big news. Big news energy.
You're pregnant.
Small Tom Rob.
You and your girl are pregnant?
No.
Okay.
But thank you though. They were putting in some conduit in the ground up the street, at the top of the street.
They were laying pipe?
They were laying some pipe in the street, beside the street. And I was like, yo, what is this pipe? Because at first I got super excited. I was like, yo, is this natural gas? Am I gonna get the good heats?
What are you doing now? Literally burning logs?
No, I got propane. I'm only a peasant. And then I looked up the conduit color. I was super excited. I was like, is this natural gas? I looked at the conduit color and it's fiber. It's high speed fiber.
That's even better.
Ooh.
Yeah. Fuck being warm.
Yeah, fuck being warm when you get fast internet.
Yeah. I'll just wear a hoodie. Fuck it.
Yep, so I'm super stoked. It's supposed to, I looked it up, it's supposed to be coming in 2025.
2025.
Yep.
Another year behind us.
Now.
Another year behind us. Yep. So tonight we're going to talk about new detachments, Flashpoint.
Oh yeah.
Also, what's the timer? Our last podcast of the year will be on the 18th.
Yep.
So 2 more shows after tonight. We're all just coming back from the holidays.
Count them down.
How was everyone's holidays? I forgot about that. How was all your guys' Thanksgivings?
It's chill. It's nice.
Yo, I went to the mall on Black Friday.
Bro, I went to the mall.
Why?
It was a disaster.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Well, see, here's the thing. So this mall, me and this mall have a history. Like I've seen fist fights at this mall over parking spaces in the past, years. I probably haven't been to this mall. I haven't been to this mall in a number of years. And I was like, man, I don't know. This could be dangerous. This could be dangerous. And we get there at like 11. Pretty decent parking. I was happy with the parking. I was like, all right, this is good. Shop for like 3 hours. Cool. Black Friday, it was normal. It's good to see malls still doing well in major metro areas. I'm very excited about it. Bought a couple. What did I buy? I bought a couple of plaid shirts. How about that?
Yep.
And they're thicker. They're much warmer. And
we call those flannels.
Oh, they are flannels. You're right. Or I believe the new term is shackets.
Oh, I'm fucking using that.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I'm instantly obsessed with that.
I was turned on to this. I was like, "Oh, is that the thing now?" And they're like, "Yep." And I was like, "Cool." So then we went to eat at a place that I would never gone to on a Black Friday normally in that area, and it was pleasant. I was like, "Okay, I can do this." And then it was like 2-3 o'clock, I guess, before we got back on the road, and the mall was packed. Like,
what time did you get there?
11.
Damn.
And the mall opened at 8.
You lucked out.
There would be people fist fighting for parking spaces at 8 in the morning.
That was a nice chill ass Black Friday experience.
I was like, all right, I can do this. And everybody was cool.
Mine wasn't like that. My lady went to the fucking Orlando Outlet Mall.
Oh.
With her sister. And she calls me. I'm like doing something. I don't know. Like fucking, I'm here working. Right. She calls me. She's like, I need you to Uber here and like just get in the car and fucking figure it out for us because we've been circling the parking lot for an hour for a parking spot.
Oh, geez.
I was like, all right. So I Ubered over to the mall. They found parking in the 30 minutes it took me to get there. And then I helped them, store shop. Man, it was the opposite of what you're talking about.
No way.
It was so preposterous.
At an outlet, like a Tanger? Like, what are we talking?
It's like, it's got like the Nike outlet, the fucking, it's all the dope shit, right? Like everyone wants. And my lady was hilarious. She was like, look at all these poor people pretending to be rich. We all know we're poor. You don't need to walk around pretending you're not. Like, because that's why we're here. You know what I mean? Like, we're in our sweats and shit, and everyone else is wearing all the shit they just bought, from an outlet store. Like, but it was not tight. It was a nightmare. And then we had to go back the next day
Why?
because something got left out. Like when they like rang her up, we got charged for it, but we didn't have it.
Oh.
So I was like, oh my god, round 2. So 2 days back to back at this place. Goddamn nightmare.
That does not seem good.
How was the Thanksgiving part though? Did you do any dinners?
Oh yeah.
You did a dinner?
Yeah. Got some choice turkeys, some mashed potatoes and veggies. I think I went to Wawa afterwards, got a nice pomegranate smoothie.
I went to
Very
Wawa's the other
excited.
day.
They got them down there?
Yeah. There's like one.
Oh shit.
There's one out here.
Nice.
Been a while since I've been to one. I was like, fuck yeah. I mean, you introduced me to them in Virginia.
Yeah, yeah.
We used to go to them after, like, the one down the street from your game store.
Oh yeah. That was my jam.
It's
Now they
just-
got sheets everywhere. It's
Mhm.
great.
I love Sheets. Yeah, she was wild. So we're all back. We did stuff. Got 3 shows. Tons of content. New secret format on the horizon. Trying to sling LVO long war doubles tickets still, but
Oh yeah, go buy those.
yeah, we'll buy those.
Go see Kenny and Wyatt and everybody else. Is One Plus Saves going to that?
Yeah.
Does he go to those?
He goes, yeah, LVO was his first major GT last year.
Oh really?
And then now also.
Oh, I guess so. He's West Coast, huh?
Yeah, congrats to him. He went 4-4 at Worlds, I think is what his final record was. So it's not bad. So let's kick it over to Wyatt. Let's roll into the Cave of Wonders, touch something up with the lamp.
Would you rather never be able to bend your arms or never be able to bend your knees?
Damn.
Oh.
Can't bend my knees. So I can walk like an idiot. Okay, are
You
they
just
always
walk
are
like
they
a-
always
like a-
are they always straight or always bent?
That seems painful.
I'd say they'd always be straight, just because I think that's funnier.
It is funny.
Less
walk
ways
like,
to game it. So I mean, like you can rotate your shoulders and everything, but I guess like specifically
Your elbow. Can't move
no
your
elbow.
you can't move your
Yeah, so
elbow
you're-
and you can't move your knee.
Man.
Damn. I mean, I can't continue to paint Warhammer miniatures if I can't bend my
No,
elbows.
you need those, dude.
Really?
Dog,
You have to get like the magnifying glass
but-
glasses.
But you can't stable. I mean, I guess I could heavily modify my work environment, and there's definitely a way to do it. But man, that's gonna be weird. And also, playing. Dude, I gotta use my hands. I have to have full control of my hands as an artist,
Yeah.
as a gamer. Like, I feel like I'm gonna have to just walk around like an idiot. Like, damn, how do I take a shit? Oh no. Shit in the shower.
Hey,
Got
we've already
shit.
talked about that many times.
Got to shit in the shower. Like, I gotta make this reality now. Like, you can't shit in a toilet like that.
No.
I'm trying to like sit in my chair right now, my legs straight. I'm just field testing it. Oh shit! I almost fell out of the chair. That's kind of hard. Oh no!
You just got to get like a footrest. Be fine.
A big footrest, yeah. Damn. So, but you can't wipe your ass if your fucking arms don't bend.
Yeah, you need your arms to bend, bro.
So
we can't.
So
do
either way,
anything.
you have to shit in the shower.
It'd be really hard, yeah.
Either way, you're pooping in the shower, dude.
Well, you just get like a little chair to like a little like high up like bird like a post, you know.
You can't even bend your arm to activate the fucking lever on the duvet. on the bidet. Think about it, like you can't even. You have to like
Yeah.
stand up, walk back, and then hit it with your arm that you can't bend.
I feel like we as humans exist as humans because of our big old brains and our opposable thumbs, which kind of rely on bending our elbows. Like we can moderately, if we can moderately get around locomotion wise, that's good. But like, if you can't bend your elbows, you ain't doing a lot of stuff.
My dick is way too small to jam my D without being able to bend my elbow.
That's not what I was thinking. But yes.
I mean, I think just through sheer mechanics, I have to pick pooping in the shower, but I'm standing. You know what I mean? Like a weirdo.
I think you could sit on. I feel like you could sit on a toilet with straight legs. Just kind of to like lower yourself down.
I mean, I don't have a bathroom in my current abode that has enough distance from the toilet and the wall in front of me to do.
Oh,
that.
you got like a tiny little poop closet?
Like, well,
You got
like
a
most,
poop
yeah.
closet.
I have adjacent poop closet to master bath. Right.
It's like the worst trend in architecture. Like,
Bro, don't even get me started.
remember in like 2021 when I was trying to buy a house and like how many fucking
Poop closets.
builders we went through, and I was like, hey, can you just like not build that and just have it open? They were like, no.
Yeah.
Nobody, because nobody wants to do actual work and like put in the effort.
Well, so my logic was like, wouldn't it be like less work for you guys? Because it's like 2 walls and a door that you don't have to build. And they were like, we're not going to do that.
Yeah, because they got to do like a whole reinforced like load bearing, like it's a whole thing, and they obviously bought these plans from somebody,
and
it's all ready to go out.
Yeah,
of the
they
box,
refuse to
and they
modify.
don't. Yeah.
So
that's what happens.
Yep. Final answer. Can't bend my knees. I poop in the shower.
Oh, I'm not bending my knees.
Mm-hmm. I'm not bending my knees for the rest of this podcast. That's how serious
Man,
I am about
I
this.
don't really have a choice.
Doubt.
Like it would be bad.
All right, let's kick it over to Rob. Rob, news and then Flashpoint. Let's go.
News and then Flashpoint. Okay. So last time we talked, it was before Thanksgiving. There was a preview. I would say it's probably the best preview we've seen in half a year. I don't know. What are we thinking? How are we feeling about that preview?
Oh, the one
it was
WCW?
good.
Yeah.
That was tight. That was a solid one.
Dude, who's that Eldar fucking Warp Spider motherfucker?
Oh, right.
I don't remember their name, but yeah, we finally get the
it's a her.
She identifies as female?
She does.
That's a sexy ass spider.
Dope model.
Bro, do you notice that she got
100%.
like the extra spider eyes and everything?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they did a good job on that model. Even a sermon looks pretty good.
Cool. I like the
they had Morgan Raw too, didn't they?
Well, he's been shown off before this.
He's been around for a while. The new one.
Baharath is who you're thinking
Baharath,
of.
yeah.
So for some reason, they decided to come out with a brand new Exarch. Or what are they? It's not the Exarch. What are they called? The
Phoenix Lord?
A Phoenix Lord for the Warp Spiders.
Right.
Everybody else got updated. No Karandras. Karandras just like left in the bench.
Well, the rumor was that they forgot about Karandras.
I guess I'm sad.
Remember, Karandras he's a special Phoenix Lord because
it's all right. I've given up on my
second
dream of running an entire army of striking scorpions. It's dead to me. We're now going to run an entire army of warp spiders.
Mm-hmm.
That's the new dream.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm gonna say something controversial.
What's Warp
I've
Spider?
already said one.
What's Warp Spider lady name again?
Oh, I'd have to like pull up the.
What's the Warp Spider name?
I remember.
She's brand new.
So new. I don't even remember.
Okay, just all right. Continue. What's your controversy?
All right. All of the Warp Spiders look like they're cosplaying their best Carnifex cosplay.
Her name is Lycus.
Lycus.
Lhykis.
Just look at all the poses. They're all like, I'm a Carnifex. And they even look like it.
Oh, like the old school Carnifex.
Carnifex. I'm a Carnifex.
I love it. That is controversial.
people won't like it. People aren't ready for the truth sometimes, I feel like. But I'm ready to bring it.
Well,
I'm
plus
not
Sam
afraid.
says Warp Spider, Flicker, Jump, and Charge is gonna be worse than Aquilon's.
Oh, I'm sure it's gonna be
If that even ends up being a thing, I don't know. Like
it'll be a thing.
we'll
They
have to
said it would be
see,
a thing.
because the thing that gets me really excited is like one of the detachments was labeled. So I'm gonna have the article pulled up. Anyways, it's like the aspect host. So it's a whole army of just like the aspect warriors and the avatar of Cain. So I'm like, that's my shit.
I
Like,
mean,
that's what I want.
that's a quarter of the young king.
I usually don't give a shit about other models, as you guys know historically.
Well, that's your problem.
Skinny arm Xenos are not my cup of tea. But damn, that
They look good.
What's her name again?
Lycus.
Lycus.
Almost like a werewolf. But
I would
it's a
marry
spider.
her right now. She was real.
It looks good.
Her
Super looks
sword
good.
is very cool.
She is a sexy, hot little spider lady.
I believe they call that a. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. Also, super sexy and hot. Deathcore Creek.
Oh yeah, I learned some lore. They're a clone army.
So the horses, supposedly, but they're not horses.
Somebody who reads the books said that the reason they don't take their face masks off is that they're a clone army of one guy, and they can't, and like it's heretical.
Well, there's a reason they make a lot of them. There's a lot of them.
So we have
the lore is fluid and ever changing, so who knows?
I mean,
the
ain't
new.
that the
I mean,
truth?
like they have a series of novels right now, right?
Well, I mean,
I will
novels are
say,
great.
I am glad they brought back the engineers. I mean, I'm biased, but they brought back the combat engineers. Pretty cool. I'm kind of hoping that like that's just a data sheet that all guard can take, kind of like how you can just take Death Corps of Creed Troopers right now as a battle line choice.
True.
It's like they're not doing their own codex. They'll have like a detachment, so it'll be fine. But
well,
it's like the only
they're on the
unit that
cover
makes
of both.
Yeah, because like they're the glow up, right?
Yeah, oh for sure.
So the thing I'm excited about is the combat engineers.
No, they look
Oh,
sexy.
I
mean that I wanted to hate on because I love hating on Krieg. Like
so do I.
Just because everyone loves him. Which is my only reason, realistically.
I don't super love the Forge Roll models anymore.
No, they fucking lick balls. The plastic is the tightness. And this guy on a horse, I wanted to go in there and just talk shit. I was like, oh, look at this piece of shit. Look at this garbage. And I'm like, man, I can't hate. This thing is tight. This horse guy slaps.
The horse guy slap. The Grenadier Forge Roll models are great because the guns don't break, but the every other
yeah, I painted like 240 of them.
Oh, I know.
240 Lasguts broke.
I know. And now all their weapon teams are going to be on 50 mils.
Are they still called Deathstriders? I remember that.
Death Riders.
No. Well, the horses were called Deathstriders because they're not actually horses. They're like some indigenous animal.
Yeah, not a horse. I learned that
they got
too.
Claws.
I'll have a lot of Death Corps Krieg people who watch my stream.
I just remember like I haven't had a Death anything since like 6th edition. I just remember they were called like Deathstriders was like what the species was called.
I mean, we haven't seen the sprues. We haven't seen all the all the kits. There's still some rumor stuff out there. I'd be very surprised. Well, I guess they did show us extra stuff that isn't in the army box, so that'll be interesting. But no. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. It'd be nice to get some Leman Russ Mars Alphas, but you could technically use the Horus Heresy Leman Russes because they have all the rebreathers and shit. So, I mean, it's possible. If you really want to make it work, you can make it work. And there's plenty of 3D prints out there. Station Forge in particular, Maker's Cult for Ogren, which I need to get on the Ogren bandwagon because it's like the only thing I don't have for the Death Corps. But yeah, so I think the previews were very well done. So kudos to them.
It's like they made us wait, but they did deliver. I have to give them
They
that.
did. They didn't leave us without a dope beat
they
to step
didn't
to.
leave exactly. Like it's been a long time. They shouldn't have left us.
They shouldn't have.
But we did have a dope beat at the end. That shit was fucking. That was good. I was shocked.
And now we got a new detachment every day
Mm.
till the 24th. And don't forget, last year on the 25th, we got all the Dark Angel previews. And then on the 26th, we got 5 silhouettes.
My hype is back. Like I'm back. Like I'm hype again.
And 5 silhouettes of Age of Sigmar. So there's plenty of previews. And then, of course, LVO. There'll be plenty there.
Yep.
So
I'm sure they'll come out with the dope new Primarch model that'll be stolen.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Primarch rumors out there.
That's ridiculous.
And a Space Marine jet bike, it looks like, in one of the rumor engines. So that's fun.
Bro.
What if it's Jagatai, or what if it's Kasaro?
If anything happens before they bring Fulgrim into 40k, I don't care what it is, but I'll be happy. Purely because it'll upset one of our friends.
Yep, getting Jagati Khan first would be kind of
like literally anything except getting Fulgrim back will be hilarious.
Yeah. Also, fuck Badgers.
So lots on the horizon. I'm stalling. You don't know I'm stalling. I lost my browser. I'm 100% professional.
He's got 1 million browsers open, guys.
That's why you don't have all these tabs open, Rob.
The number of tabs you can have open in any one Google Chrome window is 80. Ask me how I know.
How many windows do you have open? That's the real question.
I have a state-of-the-art graphics.
He has like a 480 fucking GTX just for tabs.
What do I have? Hold on, let's find out. I bet you it's wild. Graphics or display. Oh no, it's under graphics.
Sideways, he says, need to fall back on the Carnifex bit. Rob is cringe when he's not a Carnifex.
Oh,
you got to do your Carnifex bit. I'm a Carnifex.
I'm a Carnifex.
That's what you do when you're stalling.
I need you guys go see the new Gladiator.
I haven't. I saw the other one.
I overheard somebody talking shit on it. Oh, it was my brother. My brother was talking shit on it.
Oh wow, didn't expect that.
But like in a smart way, he's smart. Like, so I just summarized like a 15-minute diatribe by saying he was talking shit on it, but he had a lot of things to say about it, which were mostly negative, with some positives.
I'm kind of waiting for it to home release before I watch it.
He said he wished he had. He said that was a major regret. There's nothing about it that was. I'd say this one thing that's not a spoiler in any capacity. He said, "You remember the original?" I was like, "Obviously, it's."
I mean, who
defined my life? You know what I mean? I can remember. I fell asleep to the DVD intro sound on that bitch. On PS2.
So good.
Like, but he was like, so you remember how like everything was so huge, like the Coliseum, like a lot of wide shots of the Coliseum, a lot of establishing shots. It really showed you how big everything was, like how the absolute size of that movie felt so big. Like every battle, everything. They make sure you'd have big establishing wide shots, literally thousands of people filling the Coliseum, everything. I was like, yeah, man. He's like, they didn't do that really. He's like, it felt cheap because it was like a lot of medium shots of smaller groups of people in the stands, a very small, critique and analysis. But he's like, collectively over the course of the film, the way it was directed made it feel cheap in comparison. Like, because it's going to be compared to the original, like obviously, right? And he's like, the costumes didn't feel cheap. Like the fight sequences felt hella good. Like he's like, I mean, they didn't skip on it, but like that lens that they showed you, he's like, it ultimately made it feel cheap because it didn't feel big, didn't feel gigantic, didn't feel grand.
I could see that.
You see like a medium shot of like 18 people versus an entire packed stadium. He's like completely different feeling.
It's like watching the NFL in 2020 with nobody in the stands. Like it's not the same. They gotta put the audience track in there. It's crazy.
Yeah. So like that's one major critique.
I could see that.
Some other shows that have come out recently. Yellowstone is back finally.
I
After
have a,
all this time, I'm so
I have a,
happy.
I have. So let me. Can I? Can I?
Are you a
Can I?
secret fan of Yellowstone? Are we gonna go on a
Can I
Yellowstone
go
rant?
off? Can I?
Yeah, please
All
do.
right.
You can do whatever
I'm
you
just gonna.
want, man.
I'm just gonna fucking do it.
This is our show, Rob.
All right. In the beginning, my girlfriend loves Yellowstone, by the way, and I listen to
Dope.
it because I'll be in here working,
Oh,
and
so
she'll
you
be
know
watching it.
everything, but you've never seen it.
No, I've seen plenty of it, but here's the thing: Yellowstone is a great show. It's not for me. I want to watch when I want to sit down and watch TV. I want to watch something funny because
Agreed.
besides the people dying all the time and getting killed and mauled by bear or the political intrigue in Yellowstone, that's how most of my days go.
It's fair
Like
enough. I mean,
my
it's a pretty
days are
dramatic show.
my days are fucking it's like
drama.
Sons of Anarchy. Like Sons of Anarchy is a great show. It's fun to watch in small parts.
Okay, we get it. You want some Ted Lasso at the end of your day.
Or The Shield
Yeah.
even. Great show.
No,
Not
I
for me.
100% could not agree with you more. I always am at odds when it's like TV show or movie selection time. With
I love Kevin
with
Costner.
with any significant other I have, and to the point where like my girlfriend who we're about to celebrate a year together with, she knows now. She's like, "Hey, you want to come down and like, I want to binge this new show," and I'm like, "I don't do that." She's like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Have you ever seen me just sit there and watch TV?" She's like, "Huh, no." She's like, "Why not?" And I was like, "Well, first thing is like the only thing I'm interested in watching is like an episode of Family Guy or something that makes me laugh. Like I need a chuckle, and
Yeah.
I'm never gonna sit here and binge. My ADHD doesn't let me. Like,
Oh. Well,
like I'm gonna watch
I
a
get
whole
that.
ass episode, so I had to stay still for an hour, bro. That's a big ask for me to do another hour. You know what I mean? Like I'm not hyper focused on this. I don't care about this. I'm doing it for you. You know what I mean? Like so, I need to stand up, walk around. Got to hit the treadmill, man. I gotta go make a drink. Gotta go upstairs and play on the internet for 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Like, but it's ultimately so hard to watch anything that's not funny for me.
Okay.
I
I have a recommendation.
Unless I go to the movies, in which the movie theater is for the big shit. Like the not.
Okay.
I never watch a
So-
comedy at the movie theater.
New season of a show that has been out for a little while that is funny, and I think is like the kind of like spiritual successor to Ted Lasso.
God, Ted Lasso was so good.
Is called Shrinking. It's
Oh,
also on
I've seen
Apple
the
TV.
I've seen the pilot.
It's got Harrison Ford.
Mhm.
It's got Jason Segal. He's Jason Segel, I think is how he likes it said. Where they play therapists, psychiatrists, and it's God, it's so fucking good, dude. You like it's 30-minute episodes, so Kenny, you
Easy.
can watch it in bite-sized chunks.
Yep.
Highly recommend.
Bro, Ted Lasso is a show that never once disappointed me in any episode. It's the only show I've ever watched. Every episode never disappointed.
And as sad as I was to see that it's over,
had to
I
end
have
it.
to say, bro, what a fucking breath of fresh air. That an amazing phenom of a show was just like, we have a beginning, a middle, and
And an
now
end.
here's the end. And that's the story. And you can go back and you can watch that story in perpetuity, but it's like a perfect story. I hate it when good shows are
Yeah.
just like, we're gonna write this
Season
until the show
4
dies.
is almost where every show gets crappy. Because most show Bibles are beginning, a middle, and an end. Like, and then they get picked up for a 4th season and the shit goes off the rails. I said the
Yeah, I
same thing
guess-
about Battlestar Galactica. Season 1,
Yeah.
2, and 3. That was where the action was. Like season 2 is where is the climax, I agree. Anyway, sorry.
Right. Anyways, so that was for you guys. Anybody else? New show called Landman. It's got Billy Bob Thornton in it.
Oh,
And he's fucking amazing in everything. Where he plays a dude who works for the oil industry in the Permian Basin. And it's a show from Taylor Sheridan, same guy who made Yellowstone, and he's Paramount's Golden Goose. First 3 episodes of that are fantastic, so highly recommend.
Looks like there's some more shows coming on Warhammer Plus too. I didn't dig
Tight.
too deep into it, but those look semi-promising, I suppose. So some stuff we missed last week was Napoleon Dynamite. It's
Oh, I
coming
saw
out
that.
with
I saw that picture.
a movie.
Wait, was that really Napoleon Dynamite or that guy online who looks like him?
Oh no, that's him. And apparently he goes and hangs out with John Blanche at the end of the movie. That is definitely John Blanche at the end of the trailer. Like it's a whole quest to like find John Blanche. Pretty
That's
cool.
awesome.
And we know Army Painters got their John Blanche series of Fanatic paints coming out here in January as well. Oh, that reminds me, I didn't get my Color Forge primers. I need to yell at somebody, not Jason. Jason did his job. So there's that. We put there was a ton of sales this year for the hobby and Warhammer in general. You can Google Black Friday Warhammer, Black Friday Cyber Monday. Like we got all the posts up. I think there's still like over almost 30 sales right now for Cyber Monday. They're still like in effect for the hobby, and they're still going strong. So still a bunch of sales out there if you didn't, if you didn't get any hobby stuff over the weekend. So check those out. We got them all listed up. I heard the Lucent Hobby Light from Game MV was a popular one.
Probably sold out.
Actually, I haven't looked. That would be interesting to know though. If that one definitely did sell out. The Frontline Gaming Terrain for the Pariah Nexus they don't call it Pariah Nexus Terrain, but it's basically it's District 13 is Pariah Nexus Terrain. They sent me a set of it. I looked at it. It's pretty dope. It comes with a little neoprene, mats. Like,
oh yeah.
For the like, this obviously is my mouse pad, but it's very similar in material to it.
For the layouts.
Yeah, for the layouts for all the buildings and such. And then they say pair it with the Highland mat, which has been around. They've had that design around for a while. So that one's definitely worth checking out. I think it was on sale for like $149, which I don't feel like it's too bad because, I mean, to get a set of like 3D printed terrain that you're gonna have to print, I know how much it costs to make, and it definitely is like $200 some to buy as a consumer. For $149 pre-painted, you just gotta like glue it together, and you're done. Seems pretty good. I haven't glued mine together yet, but soon, hopefully. I still got some Flashpoint to mess with. Some other stuff I think is a little worth mentioning, but like kind of higher picture. Vallejo paint workers have gone on strike.
Vallejo paint workers?
Yes.
Like they have like a factory, or like what's going on here?
They
this
do have a
sounds
factory.
No, woof.
They want 15% higher wages and better work conditions, and apparently there's been some harassment.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. And the fact that Vallejo let them strike, I've said it for a while. Vallejo paint has been hard to get since before the pandemic. The pandemic is not the issue. It's been hard to get, and a lot of stores and a lot of distributors liquidated it because it's still so hard to get. As a store owner, probably shouldn't stock it, especially now, because there's going to be problems with supply chain. So I don't know how it's all going to shake out at the end, like for the brand. Not a good look. Not a good look. So there's that. That was an interesting one. Didn't have that on my bingo card. Also not on my bingo card was literally a day later, Shapeways is back in business. Now it's out of the Eindhoven facility in the Netherlands. They don't have access to the American facility. The storefront shut down. They're gonna have to rebuild the whole storefront. Everything that happened before June doesn't exist anymore, basically, which is terrible. But if you want some stuff 3D printed, you can upload a print and get a quote on it. They'll kick it out. It'll come from the Netherlands, but it's better than nothing right now, I suppose. Because Shapeways was the OG, and a lot of folks relied on Shapeways, and a lot of that industry has not come back since the summer. So it's good to see at least this first step here in the holidays, and hopefully give them some time and they'll have the marketplace back up and we'll see a lot more. There's a whole section on their website for 3D printed miniatures, but there's nothing in it because there's no storefront, sadly. But keep an eye on it. Definitely didn't expect them to get this far. So it's definitely a good sign in general, for sure. Very excited about that one. I'm looking for the rest of the news, but I'm not seeing too much else. I'm sure there'll be a lot of deals. I think today, by the time you hear this podcast, it will be over, but the Snot Goblin terrain Kickstarter will be over. I'm sure there'll be, some second chances on their backer kit and stuff, but they also have pre-painted terrain for their, it's fully modular. It all kind of clicks together, but that stuff is fully painted. It's not actually painted, but it's still pretty cool, and they got a whole bunch of different themes on it. So check that one out if you missed out on it and that's something you wanted there. They have a whole bunch of different themes, objective markers, dice even, and some different bits and things you can get for add-ons to close the windows and stuff like that too, which is really cool. So that, I think, is about it, besides all the detachment news, and I think I want to say that's it. I'm sure I forgot something. New deathcore plastic, very excited.
Hit it. Talk about Halo.
Game
Flashpoint
slaps. Game's so much fun.
It does slap.
What a great game.
Yeah,
dude. I mean, so like we demoed it at Adepticon earlier this year.
yep.
It was like really cool, and we were like, yeah, but we want all of it, And so we had to wait, and we had to wait some more, and we finally got it. And played a couple of games. In fact, like my friend was over, we were playing a game like right before the podcast. So when the call went out, I was like, oh shit, we gotta go. Like gotta pack this shit up. I got work to do.
I was still at the restaurant. So you were
Yeah.
better off than me.
Yeah. And it's a lot of fun. And in the pre-show, I was kind of talking about it. And I think the thing that I appreciate the most about it, and my friend Joel was saying the same thing, like that's what we're kind of keyed in on, is it really does capture the vibe of playing Halo multiplayer.
It sure does.
It's like even if you stop playing Halo back on like Halo 2 or whatever, like it still feels like Halo 2 multiplayer, Halo 3, whatever your favorite one was. It captures that energy. Learning the game is so incredibly easy. Like it has alternating activations. I know a lot of people really like games that have alternating activations. Works great in this game.
Oh yeah.
If you like keywords, it has keywords. You're like, oh, what does frag do? Oh, let's flip to the keyword page.
What is pushback?
Yeah, it's like it's so easy because it's like you get all of the like benefits of keywords, but they don't fall into the trap the Games Workshop does, which is making like 1 billion unique USRs. It's like well, okay, so here's the thing, right? It's like, so you have USRs, you have keywords. You're like, okay, what is, ESD? What does that mean? Oh, it depletes shields. Cool. Well, they just like give that to anything they want to have that ability. They don't make up like 15 different rules that are basically the same rule as ESD, right? So it's like you have 2 pages of keywords. It's a small rule book, so it's more like a page and a half of real pages. And setup is super easy. Like it's the thing that we were talking about while we were waiting for you is that like the Master Chief is in the game.
He's OP.
He is cracked. He's absolutely juiced to the gills, dude. He's so strong.
He's so good.
My buddy was like, I want to try out Master Chief. And I was like,
yeah, you do.
Okay, tight. And he really does perform like you would think the Master Chief does. And so like right now, like Kenny asked like, oh, well, how do you keep the game balanced if Master Chief is so juiced? I'm like, well, right now, it's a game where you're like, you and I are playing a game to have fun, right? It's not at the like the game has not progressed to the point in its releases where they are ready for organized play. If I remember
but
right,
they do have organized play coming.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to drop in like between January and March, somewhere in there.
But we don't know what that's going to be.
Right. So what I was telling Kenny is in the back of the book, if you can't decide on like whether or not Master Chief should even be in the game, or like like if you and I are playing, we're like, we both want the Master Chief. They have a game rule add-on where you have a draft with all of the different cards.
I like that.
And it keeps things where it's like, okay, well, you and I both agree that we all want the dopest shit. So let's just do the draft. And what we get is what we get, right? And
dude, I'll just take the Berserker with the that guy's good.
The Brawler.
Oh, Brawler, yeah.
Yeah, I have like my Brawler is I printed out Emil from Fall of Reach.
Oh, so there you go.
Emil is my Brawler. And the crazy things you can do with that game, right? Because it's very simple, right? So every time you activate, you get 2 short actions or 1 long action. You know, you can do XYZ as a short action, XYZ as a long action, but you have a pool of dice that are kind of like CP. So like think of if you're playing 40k, you have stratagems that you spend CP on, right? Well, in this game, you have command dice. You roll them. They have symbols on them. The symbols let you do them. So think of the symbols as your different stratagems for that turn, and you roll new ones every turn. And
it matters when you play them.
Yeah, it's a big deal. One of the reasons Master Chief is so strong is because he gives you 3 extra dice.
This isn't bad.
He's huge. But like, so yeah, the Master Chief can go off. But at the same time, a crazy thing that happened in our game today was I was like, man, I'm against the wall here. Like I got my sniper is like in combat with this other dude with a gravity hammer, and like Master Chief is just like waiting to go in on me. But I picked up an item, which is that like quantum teleportation module, whatever that one's called, which lets you move out of a space that you started in, do your turn, and then your guy teleports back into that space. So I was like, all right, Hail Mary play here. I'm going to leave the space. So the guy gets to provoke attack on me when I leave the space. He whiffs. I'm like, all right, step 1. Dope. I walk over 1 space. I pick up a fuel rod cannon. And you just pick up the gun. It's free. And then you can shoot the gun as long as it's not a long action, because things like sniper rifles are like a full turn long action. With a fuel rod cannon, you just pick it up and you can blast. And so I was just like, all right, here we go. And I shoot that at the Master Chief. 1 shot the Master Chief. He's dead. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Then I teleport back into that space, which lets me do an assault move and fight that guy. So my shitty sniper that hits on 5s gets like the base 3 dice, plus 2 more for charging, plus an additional one because I have a homie also in that space, plus an additional dice because that guy's already wounded. And even though I hit on 5s, I just rolled like a super hot roll of like 3 crits. And I'm like, oh, tight. And so I ended up like hitting this guy like 10 times off of a 6 die roll and killed that dude. And I was like, that was the craziest shit of all time. I feel like a pro gamer right now.
Pew pew.
That sounds awesome. It reminds me of like Gen 1 HeroClix, Rob. Because I mean,
they had Halo HeroClix.
Game, yeah, that was much later. I'm talking like Affinity Challenge Wave 1 when it started.
Oh, right.
You know, we got so much more changes and balances beyond that, but like stuff you could do was wild, and a lot of it did have to do with how you interacted with terrain, how you went and picked things up, moved it. Could you move? Could you move and charge? How many extra actions could I get? You know what I mean? Like it's like wild wombo combos. Like,
yeah,
I have a lot of fond memories of that kind of game system. Now, is Halo, is it played on a grid or just open world?
So it is a board with 3-dimensional terrain. However, it is grid based.
I like
so
that.
The board is divided up. It's supposed to be like three by 3 boxes. And when you move into a cube, they call it cubes and stacks for the horizontal and the vertical. And when you move in there, you have a lot of wiggle room. So like you can go into the corner, you can like sit behind a piece of half cover that's in the cube. You're not just like in the middle or whatever. And there's no measuring sticks. You're just like, oh, I have range 4, count 4 spaces. Is that within range? Yes, cool. Off you go. So as far as like getting in on the ground level of this game, it's like really easy. It's super fast. The like get started boxes are an amazing value for what you get. Like you get so much in a box for,
Mm-hmm.
I think the Spartan edition is only $125 and you get all
You
of
can
the
get it for
Spartan.
like 100 pretty easy.
Yeah, you get all of the current Spartans, which I think is 10. And then you get 4 Sangheli elites and everything to play, including a hardback board, like hard cardstock pre-printed board that's dual sided with 2 different prints, so that you can have 2 different sets of terrain, and all the terrain is double sided as well, depending on how you build it. So you can have 2 different tables. Comes with more than enough terrain. Um, it comes with 3D, not 3D printed, but it comes with plastic things for like where the weapons spawn. It comes with
Mm-hmm.
3D things for the flags for capture the flag. It comes with all tokens and everything else that you might want. And you can play all the game modes. So the base game is
I think it's worth
Slayer,
it just for the game
Oddball,
aids.
Capture the Flag, Strongholds. I think one more. I forget the name. What am I misremembering? Slayer,
Um,
Oddball, Capture the Flag, Strongholds, something else with an S. Maybe Strike or something of that nature.
SWAT.
I don't remember.
I don't know. Maybe it's not SWAT. I would remember that. It's something else. But yeah, I can only say good things about it. Fantastic game. I'm super excited to see where it goes. They're coming out with an expansion
Mm-hmm.
start of the year, including a plastic terrain set, if that's more your speed, and the organized play. And I don't know how much they've said about it. I mean, they were saying that like the initial way they're releasing the game is like this, which is like squad based combat,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the base PvP, and then they had plans to go a little bit bigger and add in some things like faction combat and some vehicles, and then eventually have like a grand battle scale game in the future. So very excited for it overall.
I just want a Master Chief on Warthog, or Puma, if you will.
Which one's the Puma? Is that
How
the
do you,
4-wheeler?
I mean, have you got
No,
any?
it was a joke from Red versus Blue. They're like, I think it should be called Puma.
Oh man, that's a deep cut.
It is. You gotta be really ill for that one, I
Did
guess.
you play the game, Rob?
Which one?
Have you played any rounds of Flashpoint?
Oh yeah,
You like it?
it's good. It's more of, I think it'll have a wider appeal because it's more akin to a board game almost. It's still a miniatures game, don't get me wrong. Like, don't let it scare you off that like Rob just said it was a board game. But I could see where board game people would be interested in this game as well.
Yeah, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, like, I love grid based miniature games with great rules and combos.
And I mean the spacing, it's about 2.5-inch squares, and
Yeah,
you
we
can
measured
place.
it. The board that comes with it is very weird. It's
Yeah,
like 2 and a like 9/10 of an inch long
okay,
and the board is like 23 and a quarter wide. I think it has to do with constraints of like what they can fit in the packaging, but like a standard
sure.
table is like 3-inch by 3-inch cubes on a 2 foot by 2 foot board.
But the cool thing is you can put the bases. You basically have 4 different spots you can put it in the cube, and it's important.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah. So
Tackle
you
zones.
got options.
It sounds amazing. I'm really interested in it. But let's take a commercial break, hear from our sponsors, and then let's talk about another Christmas miracle. And we're back. First podcast since Thanksgiving holiday break. And
Yeah.
we came back to all these previews. The sexiest spider in the world. GW. They delivered, and we've got stuff dropping every day. potentially a big announcement on the 25th. But let's cover some of these detachments that are dropping with our resident 40k expert, Wyatt.
Oh yeah, we've got a whole bunch. Dark Angels, Death Guard, Tyranids, and Thousand Suns have all gotten theirs so far. We're going to continue to get one or multiples for everybody up until the 24th. So in no particular order, the Dark Angels got the Lion's Blade Task Force. And it's supposed to kind of play on using like everything the Dark Angels have. So Ravenwing, Deathwing, Greenwing, all that stuff. It's got a 2-part detachment rule called In the Lion's Claws. Each time an enemy unit, excluding monsters and vehicles, with an engagement range of 1 or more Ravenwing units from your army falls back, all models in that enemy unit must make a desperate escape test when doing so. If that enemy unit is battle shock, subtract 1 from each of those tests. And each time a Deathwing unit from your army declares a charge, if 1 or more targets of that charge are within engagement range of 1 or more Ravenwing units, add 2 to the charge roll. As far as enhancements, they've got like a +1 damage for a character. They've got a Ravenwing model only for the unit it's eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn in which it fell back. And you can reroll desperate escape tests. There's one for the bearer's unit is not battle shocked, add 1 to the OC value. And then they have a Deathwing only one. Once per battle, you get to do like an old school version of heroic intervention. So it's like during your opponent's charge phase, you get to roll the current rules for heroic. So within 6 of a unit, and then you roll the charge, but it doesn't have to be a unit that made a charge. So it's like the old heroic.
Oh yeah.
It's just
so like as long as that charge has been announced somewhere on the board, and you have a motherfucker with a 6, I can charge you. Right? That's how it works.
Oh wait, no, that's the wrong thing. I think that's a stratagem. No, so the I'm thinking of a stratagem. So the enhancement is a pull off of the board into
uppy downies.
Yeah, for the Deathwing. And then what is the stratagem called? Inescapable Wrath is what I'm thinking of. 1 Deathwing infantry or Deathwing walker that is within 6 inch of 1 or more enemy units that would be eligible to declare a charge against 1 or more of those enemy units as if it were your charge phase, and you can roll the dice and make a charge.
Read it again, the beginning of it.
End of your opponent's charge phase, 1 Deathwing infantry or Deathwing walker unit from your army that is within 6 inches of 1 or more enemy units and would be eligible to declare a charge against 1 or more of those enemy units as if it were your charge phase.
Damn, so it's just literally like my charge phase, I got no charges. I do, sir.
Yes, exactly. It's like the old heroic intervention.
Bro, that's good.
Except you use the new rules where you roll the 2 dice and have to make it.
Yeah. Instead of like the 3-inch buffer. Yeah.
Yeah. They've got some other stuff about like forcing battle shock tests or
which I imagine they would to be synergetic with their army rule, which was desperate escape bullshit. Which you can actually stack that up pretty good with Ravenwing units. You have some like 3-piece units flying across the table doing some lockdown. You know, you could actually, if you could stack up a battle shock, you could actually fuck some people up with that. Now, I'm not saying it's great army rule, but I'm not saying it's useless.
Yeah, so the thing you'll notice as we talk about all of these is that some of them have the problem of like, is this better than what I already have in the codex, or is this better than like what my index is? So anytime we get new stuff for Space Marines, you're like, is it already better than what I have, or is it already better than Gladius? Like that kind of thing. But I mean, like, this is cool. Like, it's neato detachment, gives you some neat tools.
Uppy downies, extra OC, and this weird heroic intervention. There's play.
Yeah, for sure. What's the next tab?
I feel like it's funsies though.
Yeah, so like the speculation going around is that pretty much all these might be more on the like narrative side of things. Like, not that narrative is a bad thing, but like they're gonna be more like flavor narrative than they are competitive.
Well,
But
GW just can't
we'll have to
simply
see.
do the amount of permutations to physically do all this.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. Like for the first four that have come out, the response has mostly been like either this is cool, but it's not as good as what we already have, or this is cool, but it's like I could be better playing Gladius or something like that.
But I think also a lot of folks forget, myself included, that there's a vast majority of folks that are just in it just to do something cool,
Yeah.
which is what these perhaps are for. Like, game stores don't survive off ultra competitive players coming in once a month to play in the monthly tournament. They survive off the folks that like see some cool shit, get excited, want to build it, paint it, do the thing, right?
Yeah.
And
Let's,
that's what makes this hobby awesome.
let's see this trend. How many of them are out? Let's read a few more.
There's four.
Four?
Yeah, so the Tyranid ones, it's called Warrior Bioform Onslaught.
Yeah, that's a sick name.
Warriors are cool.
Its thing is Tyranid Warriors and Winged Tyranid Prime units from your army of a 5-up invul save. And a lot of this stuff is about buffing warriors.
Okay. So I mean that's a solid start. I mean that's a solid beginning. Well,
Yeah, so it's like it's a way to play that isn't Horde. It's a way to play that isn't Monster Mash. It's kind of like in between.
yeah.
Maybe not as good as either end of those spectrums, but it's still solid. It's got some flavor to it. The Death Guard one
No,
is kind of
tell
interesting.
me what the buffing warriors ones. Do they have like a feudal
Oh,
pain,
okay,
like
so-
a res? Like what do they have?
Well, they get the invul save, just blanket for the detachment. One of the enhancements is for a neuro tyrant. It lets it attach to warriors when normally it couldn't. So I'm not a Tyranid expert, so somebody would have to tell me what the datasheet leader ability of a neuro tyrant is as to why that's cool. The winged Tyranid Prime can give his unit +1 to hit with an enhancement.
Okay. So shooty warriors benefit from that.
Winged Tyranid Prime can make his bear's unit -1 to hit, like to be hit with an enhancement, gives him stealth, but like all the time. And then a bear's unit is able to advance and charge.
Oh, so you have like kind of one of each. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Some of these
that's warriors deal,
stratagems.
right? And warriors can kind of fill any role. You know, between venom cannons and fucking devourers and or barb stranglers and
See,
Sagging
shooting or fight
talons.
phase. Tyranid warriors, and then one endless multitude unit within 6. Reroll a wound of 1. And if
okay.
it's a warriors unit, reroll a hit roll of 1 as well.
Okay, so that's okay. We're seeing okay, so they let you play the warriors any way you want with enhancement, and they are providing additional survivabilities in addition to the blanket 5 vulnerable, which is a good starting place. Okay, that makes sense because they do have like big guys, little guys, and now they have medium guys.
Yeah, there's a reactive stratagem for the shooting phase, the opponent's shooting phase. It's kind of the same deal. So one Tyranid warrior unit from your army, and then if it's let's see, target one Tyranid warriors unit from your army that was selected as the target of one or more of the attacking unit's attacks. If that unit is a Tyranid warriors unit, select up to one endless multitude unit within 6 till the end of the phase. Each time a ranged attack targets one of those units, if the strength is greater than the toughness, subtract 1 from the wound roll.
Ooh.
So like not the best, but small. Like it's
So somebody who has, which many people do, a warrior collection.
Yeah.
They can play their warriors. Okay. I see that. Okay, I'm agreeing with this. This is actually like because giving back to the community. Hey, you have a bunch of Ravenwing bikers and that you haven't been using recently? Hey, I got you. Hey, you got some warriors? You got like 18 warriors? I got you, dog. Okay, what's the Death Guard one?
See, this one is called the Flyblown Host. Death Guard infantry that are not embarked within transport have Scout 5 and Stealth.
Holy shit, that's good. That's really fucking good. Death Guard infantry.
So
Scout
something to keep
5?
in mind is you're giving up the debuffing stuff that Death Guard does with its other detachment
Well,
for
for
all
sure.
of this. So just keep that in mind. And a lot of your stuff is slow. The cool thing is that you can scout more than your movement value if the game lets you. So like you can scout 5, movement 4, Death Shroud. Let's see, enhancements, droning chorus, range weapons equipped by models in the bearers unit have assault. Kind of neat.
I like that.
Death Guard infantry model. Each time a model in the bearers unit makes an attack that targets a unit that is within contagion range, reroll a wound roll of 1.
I
At
like
the
wound,
end of
I
each.
like wound manipulation.
Oh yeah, so this one's kind of cool. Rejuvenating Swarm. It gives a Death Guard infantry a similar rule to the what are they
Reinforcement.
called? No, it's the demon thing. God dang it, Beast and Nurgle. So
Oh,
at the
sick.
end of each phase, the bear regains all of its lost wounds. So as long as it doesn't die, he goes back to full health at the end of each phase,
Oh, I love that.
which is kind of cool. Plague Veil. While the bear's unit is within range of 1 or more objective markers that you control, that unit can only be selected as the target of a range attack if the attacking model is within 18 inches.
Dark obfuscation, basically.
Yeah. So like, none of those I would say are bad. Like they're solid. Let's see, stratagems. Start of the fight phase. All of these are basically infantry. So start of the fight phase. Select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of your unit. That unit must take a battle shock at -1.
I hate
Fight
that.
phase.
I hate that one. Keep going.
Until the end of the phase, each time a model in that unit makes a pile-in or consolidation, it can move up to 6 instead of 3.
There we go. Give me more movement. I love that.
Solid one, yeah. Your shooting phase. Until the end of the phase, ranged weapons equipped by models in the unit, excluding blast, have the pistol ability.
Oh, yes. Fuck yeah. Okay, we got a couple good ones.
So that can be kind of cool. Like,
so
I think the Death Shroud already have pistol, but
they had the flamer joints that kind of those pistol flamers.
But the Plague Marines can take some stuff that can be kind of neat.
So what I like about this is that, like, back in the day, right? I've been playing Death Guard. I've been playing Nurgle. It was the first army I made. Once I understood what 40k was, after I bought some nonsense, my first goal was to make a Plague Marine army. There was no Death Guard rules, right? But I made like a 3rd edition 1500 point Rhino Rush Plague Marine army. So I was fully into the lore, reading about him every day. The old fucking knife and bolter guy. And it was something that pissed me off because I was on like the biggest Death Guard forum at the time. And I was like scooping up wins left and right, bro. Winning tournament after tournament after tournament with my shit. And it's because I was using like vehicles and shit, right? Like I had like Plague Marines and Rhinos, and I had like Exalted Sorcerers and like Exalted Lords, and fucking I had like 3 Predator Annihilators in one list, or like 3 Last Cannon Dreadnoughts in another, like mounted up armor. Getting my guys out there, getting in your face, fucking handling business, man. You know, doing all this nonsense, right? And I would get so much hate on the forum. I remember because they were like, "That's not how you play Death Guard," blah blah blah. Because they were all into the lore, and there was like a line in the codex, and it's like Plague Marine, like it's like they favor infantry style armies. Like that was like the fluff line, and they were like, "Yeah, you got to fight with your feet on the ground, like like Mortara intended." And I was like, yeah, but like every army fights with their feet on the ground. but they get in these like transports, airplanes, sometimes ships, and they move them to the place where the battle is. And then sometimes they get in like jeeps, and then they drive to another location, and then they get out, right? And then they fuck you up. I was like, that's what my guys are doing. What the fuck, man? And so this is like reminds me of all those little hobos on that forum who were just refused to play Death Guard good. And I'm like, hey, they got an attachment for you guys. Like, fucking get out of here. Deathguard.org.
The OG.
There is a stratagem that does involve Mythic Blighthaulers, where it's a reactive for your opponent's shooting phase. If you have an infantry unit within 6 of a Blighthauler, until the end of each time of the phase, it's the same thing we just went over. If the strength is higher than their toughness, it's -1 to wound. So the Blighthauler makes your infantry have like kind of a buff of if that infantry unit is targeted and the strength is higher than their toughness, -1 to wound.
Oh, just like the Warriors. That's awesome. Oh yeah.
Let's see. Last one is the Thousand Suns. It's called the Hex Warp Thrall Band.
Brand new.
Yeah, this is the one that came out today. I have not looked at it until now. So let's see. Detachment rule. Certain areas of the battlefield are within your army's flow of magic as follows. Your deployment zone is always within your flow of magic. At the start of any phase, if you control at least half of the objective markers within no man's land, until the end of that phase, no man's land is within your army's flow of magic. At the start of any phase, if you control at least half of the objective markers within your opponent's deployment zone, until the end of that phase, your opponent's deployment zone is within the flow of magic. Each time a Thousand Suns model from your army makes a psychic attack, re-roll a wound roll of 1. If such a model is wholly within your army's flow of magic, each time it makes a psychic attack, add 1 to the wound roll instead.
Let's see. All right. I don't think the Thousand Suns ones are going to be. The Thousand Suns got some hype shit right now.
Yeah, they've been in a very, very, very strong place for a long time, even after multiple nerfs. So we'll have to see what happens with the balanced data slate later this month and some more MFM changes.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really see them at Cali Cup. They're not like super in meta right now, but they're still a strong army. Let's take a look at these enhancements. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of psychic weapons equipped by models in the bear's unit. While the bear's unit is wholly within your flow of magic, add 2 to the strength instead. Okay.
Oh shit. Okay.
While the bear's unit is wholly within your army's flow of magic, add 6 inches to the range of psychic abilities the bear has that specify a range, including rituals. And each time a model in the bear's unit makes a hazardous test, you can re-roll the result. While the bear's unit is wholly within your flow of magic, add 3 to the attack characteristic of ranged psychic weapons equipped by the bear. I'm wondering if the flame weapons that the rubrics have are psychic weapons. Do you guys know off the top of your head?
I think everything that's special weapon has a psychic keyword.
Let's see. Pull up the app real quick. Because I'm thinking that this empiric onslaught that adds +3 is pretty tight for those flamers.
Yeah.
Data sheets.
Pretty sure like that's how everything in their codex works. It's like keyword psychic weapon.
Let's see. So the Inferno Bolt Gun does not have it. The Warp Flamer doesn't have it. The Warp Smite is their psychic attack.
Oh, like only the characters have that? Is that what Karaquin said? Oh, so
yeah, it looks like just the Warp
sucks.
Smite.
It sucks.
Okay, this is not tight.
Karaquin says that's why it sucks.
I was about to say, if a Warp Flamer, which you would think is a psychic, is, yeah, okay. Not tight.
Flamer's not psychic. Got it. Thanks, Robert. So this sucks.
I wasn't super impressed with it.
Nah.
This is yeah. There's some cool ones and not cool ones. Okay, I'm excited to stay tuned.
Yeah, we have a lot more. Oh, toward the end of the month. So let's see. We're gonna have tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Another 5 when we come back next week.
Yeah.
I guess technically 6 because one will come out that Wednesday. So 6 more to cover next week.
Yep, that's exciting. Okay, fuck it. I'm here for it. All right, well, fuck it. We'll put out a long episode coming back from the holidays. So let's wrap this joint up. Rob, take us out. Take us out of here. I did it in the wrong order, and now I have to stick with my guns. Fucked it up. Rob, close the show out.
So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Hopefully everybody had a good Thanksgiving and heading on into the holidays. So for exclusive content, early access videos, and more, become a veteran of the Long War today.